So I share this blessing to each and every one of you from my heart and my spirit to each and every one of you.
For those of you who are not familiar with the Society of American Indian Government Employees, SAIGE, we are about professional development of American Indian and Alaska Native government workers. We are also about building leadership skills for the youth who represent the next generation of leaders, and we are about recognizing and honoring the American Indian and Alaska Native veterans who served for our country. We are about educating the government workforce on critical topics that are important to us as federal workers and Indian people concerning federal Indian law, tribal sovereignty, and government-to-government relationships. If you are here to immerse yourself in issues and topics relevant to Native America, you're in the right place. If you're not, as the flight attendant says, this is your opportunity to leave.
Ultimately, the goal is to facilitate consultation, to have you all have a better concept of what effective and meaningful consultation is. Consultation, however, is part of a broader subject known as the doctrine of trust responsibility.
Yeah, my name's Dwayne Matt. I work for the Office of Surface Mining in Denver, Colorado. As you can see, I'm currently in Albuquerque, New Mexico, attending the SAIGE training as a representative of the Office of Surface Mining, and we are actually sitting in the Office of Surface Mining booth. The purpose of this training is to not only increase diversity and awareness of Native Americans in the United States, but also recruit youth who are present here in force right now. Actually, we have 60 youth attending our training. Try to recruit and get them interested in government service.
Yes, it is.
Nice. And how did you come to know and be part of it?
My aunt, who works in the Navajo Nation Washington office, her fiance works in the Pentagon. So he sent me an email that he got and he forwarded it to me and told me to go ahead and apply.
Really greatest positive things that I could think of was somebody gave me a shot. Whenever I first applied for SAIGE, it was a scholarship, looks very, very intimidating. Have to write some things, have to get some references, and that's just a lot. But I turned it in. And I remember in my head, I constantly think, if someone could just give me a shot, if someone could just allow me to prove to them that I can do something. And as I mentioned before, I went to SAIGE in Tulsa, fresh out of college, very little money to my bank account, and when I walked away, I had 2 job offers. And I'm very thankful that I've had that opportunity. And my opportunity, my shot, came in SAIGE.
SAIGE is geared towards 17-year-olds to 25, and in that range, they try to groom them up to getting into their higher education. So I would say if they want to do something, pursue their dreams, then definitely come to SAIGE. They have plenty to offer. I know it's really hard for a lot of our students to be away from home, and it's walking into unknown territory, and the sessions are back-to-back, majority of them, but there's a lot of activities to get to know people, icebreakers, and just everyone. I can honestly tell you, everyone from the last SAIGE conference in Spokane to this day, we're still in contact, and like I said, lifelong friends. Everybody is on Facebook. We have our own page, and we remain in contact, and a lot of them couldn't come back. We do have repeat people that I've seen in Spokane, Washington, but it's just like a family.
This is my first time at SAIGE, and I'm really enjoying it. I really appreciate the opportunity that you guys are creating for us to be able to network and continue on with what we're doing with so many inspirational people here. And I think this is a very great event and a very important event that should be taken in by everybody as much as we can, because how many other chances are we going to get to be sitting right next to very important people that are doing very important things?
And then the 10th threat that comes to mind is this termination policy of the 1950s and 60s, which was really the low point of federal Indian law and policy, and a time where our peoples fought for their very survival, because the aim of the termination policies was really to make us disappear into mainstream society and terminate the treaty relationships and political as well as the cultural sovereignty of the tribes and their relationship to the government. So these various threats that our ancestors faced at that time arose from a legacy of conquest and colonialism. And so our ancestors faced some very grave problems in those times, to protect the cultural sovereignty of our people, because this legacy was nothing less than an all-out frontal assault on our cultural sovereignty. And as a result of that long history, it's a miracle today that any vestige of our cultural sovereignty remains. And I think the challenge of the day is to protect what little remains. During this period that I've just referred to, it's all documented in history, there were no American Indians that were employed by the government at that time. In fact, to the contrary, our peoples were looked upon only as wards of the government. We were not even citizens, much less employees of the United States government. And so we didn't have any people in place then, like we do today, to educate the agencies to make their policies more appropriate.
Okay, so if you're here for outstanding consultation efforts with tribes, you're in the right place. My name is Cheryl Zwang. I'm a past SAIGE chair, and I love this organization and the conferences they put on. And please do visit the vendors, and please do go into the sponsors and visit with them. They spend a lot of time and money to get here and be with us, and they do a great job of supporting SAIGE. So I first want to say that. I work for the BLM in Bureau of Land Management in Boise, Idaho. I'm an enrolled member of the Blackfeet tribe from Montana, and I'm going to get right into introducing our speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Dunn, and today's workshop will be on understanding your EEO rights and responsibilities. Before we get started, I always like to give you a little background as to who I am. I am Cynthia Dunn. I'm the director for the Tax Exempt Government Entities Division of the Internal Revenue Service. I'm the director of the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Office. And I am a lifetime member of SAIGE, and like Wes said, I've participated many years with the SAIGE conference and conducting workshops. My tribal affiliation is Crow and Blackfeet, and I always like to put in there, I'm a proud mother of 2 sons, and I'm
currently Native Americans comprise only 1.7% of the federal workforce and 1.1% of the senior executive service. Most Native Americans employees work for Interior or Health or Human Services. We must do better. One thing we must concentrate on is better developing our current employees and promoting them. I know that your meeting has several sessions of this type, and we are also collaborating with agencies that have an underrepresentation of Native Americans to implement specific diversity and inclusion plans. We are using social media to share information about the Pathways programs with Native American students. And today, OPM is offering a free training webinar for American Indian Special Emphasis Program Managers. Speakers will clearly outline the program manager's roles and responsibilities when it comes to ensuring that there is equal opportunity and equal treatment of Native American federal workers. We've worked with SAIGE to develop and offer this webinar during your conference, and more than 200 people signed up to participate in just the first 2 hours it was advertised. We are also conducting webinars at tribal colleges and universities to give students and faculty the most up-to-date information about federal jobs and practical tips about how to apply.
Well, in general, OSM's looking for a very diverse workforce in terms of scientists or people with a financial background or people that work with abandoned mine lands or enjoy working with mining. But we're also looking at a diverse workforce in terms of other culture. And us being at the SAIGE conference, this is one place that we are able to recruit that type of diverse workforce, in this case Native American students. The best message I can send to our own employees at work is that diversity comes in all shapes, sizes, forms. SAIGE is just one component of many government entities that exist. We're under an umbrella of an organization called NCEPS, which is a national coalition, and we represent all diversity in the United States. So whether it be Native Americans or Latins or blacks or anybody else that you could possibly think of probably has an organization in the government. But for you to fully experience what diversity is, you need to attend a training like this to really fully understand that.
Starting in the 80s with some of the bombings, the suicide bombings, right on up through Iraqi freedom, and even today with our war in Iraq and our war in Afghanistan, our longest war in our country's history, we still have thousands of people putting their lives in harm's way to help us enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy every day. So just want to ponder that for a quick second, and with great gratitude, thank all of you that are veterans for your current service and for your past service. And I would just ask the veterans to just stand up. We owe you a round of applause.
Go to my elders and go to the youngest people, the youngest children, and learn from them and learn from my elders and incorporate that together, because this isn't our land. This wasn't given to us from our elders. This is we're borrowing this from our generations to come. So.